She doesn't mean it. I'm sure she doesn't mean it. Do you think she means it?
I don't know. But in the meantime, what's for lunch? But what I love about that episode, and I never really realized it until I was going through all of them for the book.
Samantha did not do any witchcraft in that episode.
Well, there is that. But even deeper than that, there's not a single mortal. It's the only episode with no mortals.
No mortals.
Not a single one.
And the interesting thing too is the title of the episode of Samantha's Good News. You don't hear the good news until the end of the episode.
I know, it's like surprise.
Surprise! I'm pregnant.
And you kind of get the feeling it was supposed to be a season finale, even though they weren't really doing season finales the way that we know them. But that was the impression I got, is that was supposed to be the final episode.
I probably would have thought that too, but of course they knew that Dick York wouldn't be back for season 6, so that's why.
Right, so they wanted to end with an episode of his, and I totally understand that.
Yeah, they wanted to end with Samantha and Darrin in Mexico City, which, again, is completely and totally understandable, for sure. And, man, Abigail can eat. And side note, Abigail can eat. Even I was like, that's your regular lunch? What do you have for dinner?
Dinner's my big meal.
Yeah. I'm like, girl, you're after my own heart, because I would eat that with you. You're a jolly good eater.
Forget the ham sandwiches.
Yeah, and then witch or warlock, witch. And
there's your
I thought Tabitha was so cute in that episode, and even when they cut to Agnes Moorehead as Endora laughing, I was laughing too, because she was like, I'd rather have a pony.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was so cute. That was so cute of her to say that. And Samantha's like, well, no, you're going to have a baby.
Instead of television.
Oh, man. I say a witch. I say a warlock. But
love it.
I love that.
Yeah,
I thought that was
that's such a great episode.
I thought that was so cute. And what was interesting was, from what I understand, is when the show went on summer hiatus before Dick Sargent came in to take over the role, was that they aired all of the Yorkless episodes leading up to the season premiere for season 6.
Oh, that's interesting. That would make sense.
In its original run. Yeah, I looked into that, and I thought, okay, that was pretty smart. So, yeah, every Yorkless episode was aired during the summer leading up to Sargent's premiere episode.
And there were 14 of them, so you could feasibly do that over summer. Yeah.
Yeah, there was. And mind you, a lot of people thought it was just season 5 where he was not seen. I was like, no, it goes back to season 3.
Mm-hmm. I want to say A Gazebo Never Forgets is the first one without Darrin.
A Gazebo Never Forgets was the first Yorkless episode. And then Aunt Clara's
Victoria Victory, yes.
Victory,
oh my God, I love that episode
one.
So much.
You will kindly respect. You will kindly. Well, the crown. I can't remember the exact line, but it was. But
you will kindly show proper respect for the crown.
I love that actress. I mean, she did that, and then she was Hepzibah in season 7.
And Mother Goose.
And was she Mother Goose?
She was Mother Goose, and she was Martha Washington.
She was Martha Washington. I knew that, but I didn't realize that was Mother Goose too.
Yeah, she just didn't have as much makeup on.
I didn't like that episode, to be honest with you, but
oh really?
I was not a fan of that. I was not a fan of that one, but and I think it's so funny. I was like, poor David White. That was the episode he directed.
Oh, that's right. That's right. I forgot about that. See, I don't know as much about the behind the scenes stuff as other people because. Well, I figured part of the reason I wrote the book was because what the books that are out there are all kind of focusing on the behind-the-scenes stuff, and nobody had really focused too much on the fiction yet, and that's what I wanted to do.
Absolutely. And, yeah, that was a good one. And then season 4 had quite a bit of Yorkless episodes, and then we got to season 5 where they had a lot of them. And, you know, my favorite one was when Mrs. Stevens, Where Are You?
Mm-hmm.
When Serena turns her into a cat. Mrs.
Yep,
into a
Phyllis,
cat.
and it's so interesting that they're sitting, that Phyllis and Serena are sitting there talking, and it's like, why have these two never been in a room before? That's the way I like season 5, is because, unfortunately, Dick York had to be written out, but the ways they covered it, like putting Serena and Uncle Arthur together, why had they never done a scene before? It was gold. It was total gold.
And it was the episode where they lost their powers. And of course, the title is leaving my mind, but of course, we always resonate that episode. And Liz was, I think, several months pregnant. I think 4 months pregnant. And
yeah, she was getting there. Yeah,
she was 4 months pregnant. And then in the episode, which a lot of us always go back to, paid homage to I Love Lucy again,
right?
Because Bill Asher also directed that episode of I Love Lucy. He directed this one.
Yeah, which I didn't realize. I didn't realize the I Love Lucy connection until a couple of years ago. But yeah, it's pretty wild.
If you haven't seen this episode, it basically features Arthur and Serena in the candy shop, and they pretty much get into the same instance that Ethel and Lucy did with the chocolate candies. And so it was pretty much homage to that, and I thought that was so cool that they put that in there.
Well, that was a good day's work.
What do I do with these? I don't know.
I don't know. Eat them. Yeah. I have a feeling they made up a lot of dialogue in that scene. I don't know why.
Sure, I think they probably did. I have a feeling they probably did when it started going out of control and they started ad-libbing. But
yeah, I think there was a lot of it. Yeah.
I do think my favorite number one Yorkless episode, Marriage with Lestat, was my all-time favorite.
Oh, that was a good one.
I could watch that one non-stop.
With Cecil Colby.
I'm going to find myself a mortal and marry it.
Why should you be the only one who can dig the mortal scene?
And then she wants Samantha to go, and then Serena and Samantha's like, I'd rather not get involved, Serena. And Serena's like, okay, but if you don't come with me, I'm going to tell Dumbo all about you and Sir Walter Raleigh.
I never even met Sir Walter Raleigh.
I know it, and you know it, but will he believe it?
That's liar's blackmail.
Yeah.
Oh my God! I hope there are other people out there who know what we're talking about.
I think they have an idea. Don't worry. I think they have an idea.
Oh my God!
My uncle and I used to recite the lines too, and when we were watching some of the shows, and so we especially whenever Samantha says "well," when she goes "well," we always do that because it's just so. It's just the catchphrase that you have to say. You know?
Oh yeah, I always do it.
And that episode, I love that episode. I hope that wasn't too gauche. Poor Samantha getting in the crossfire of that.
Oh, I know, the champagne.
Mm-hmm.
I guess you can't get a contact high from that. She absorbed it by osmosis.
What's the matter, Chateaubriand? Too well done?
Everything was too well done. Come with me. Which I always thought was interesting, and I mentioned this in the book too, is that here Samantha is teaching Serena how to cook. Yet in the beginning, I mean, Samantha. Remember when Samantha was running through burning Darrin's breakfast, and she had no idea how to fry an egg? Yeah, couldn't even fry an egg. And now 5 years later, here she is, showing Serena. I just thought it was an interesting full circle.
I guess hey, it took 5 years. She knows how to cook.
By then she would have known.
You made a mention in the book about how she couldn't cook the breakfast, but she was able to bake a cake. I was like, really? You thought that was baking a cake? It turned out terrible.
Yeah, but at least it looked quasi-edible, compared to the toast,
And then she twitched her nose to make it look good.
All pretty, yeah.
All pretty, which then I heard that twitch sound effect. I was like, ew, what's this?
I know. Well, they hadn't quite gotten it yet.
I was like, this is not the Twitch I grew up with. What's this Twitch noise? So
I know. Every once in a while later on it would slip in and it'd be like, okay, that's not right. But it was very rare. I mean, I love the sound effects so much. I mean, like I said, I made ringtones out of a lot of them. But when I was a kid, I don't know where I got the call to do this, but I actually called up Screen Gems. and I asked them if they would send me a tape of the sound
too.
effects. They did, and you know what? They said they would. Well, 36 years later, I'm still waiting.
Still waiting for those sound effects.
Let's get to it over here.
I'm just saying, you could probably get them off of YouTube just finding them.
I just pull them off of episodes, but it's very rare to isolate a sound effect that doesn't have either dialogue or a footstep or a laugh track.
To it.
I just kind of have to cut them off and then add a little echo effect at the end so I have something more complete for myself. And it's just for myself. I'm not trying to make money off of these or anything.
Absolutely.
But yeah, I mean, I'm loving this. I love talking to someone who loves the show as much as I do. I mean, there's a lot of that too. Last week, remember I had mentioned to you that I attended the Mid-Atlantic Nostalgia Convention.
Mm-hmm.
And I went as a warlock, or my version of a warlock anyway. A lot of people thought I was Mandrake the Magician. I'm like, no, I'm a Bewitched warlock. I got episodes on the screen behind me. Come on, guys. But
this is why I'm here. That's
why I came here, I got the book in front of me. I mean, come on. But it was so much fun that way, too, getting to talk to people who know the show as well as you and I do, because, it's kind of a rare thing. I mean, there's people that – I think everybody knows the show. I mean – I don't think there's even 20-year-olds, I think, must know about it at this point. And then you've got your casual fans, and then you've got people like us who just,
I think so.
It's in every corpuscle pretty much.
I mean, it's been, in some way, shape, or another, we've seen some type of homage of Bewitched paid in other shows. Charmed, for one. Charmed did a couple episodes where it kind of did some Bewitched type things, where Alyssa Milano's character somehow turned into a 60s housewife with the big Samantha hair and
oh my god, that's great.
Sort of pretty much living like Samantha Stevens. And Piper, played by Holly Maureen Combs, there was an episode where they were doing some type of plan. She turns around, looks in the window, she twitches her nose like Samantha. So there was that too. So there were some homages there, and Passions did homages.
Yeah, I was going to say Passions, yeah.
Passions did a lot of homages to Bewitched. Obviously, the witch Tabitha, and then there was Baby Endora, and Nurse Kravitz.
And Dr. Bombay
showed up.
Yep.
Dr. Bombay showed up a couple of times. And Wizards of Waverly Place also.
Oh, I forgot about that one.
I love I did watch Wizards of Waverly Place. I love that show. And the homage there was Mr. Larry Tate.
Oh, yeah.
The principal. And if I'm not mistaken, Bernard Fox appeared in that show too.
Huh, that is also an IMDb question, but yeah, he's still around. He's 89, but he's still around.
Yeah, I believe he was on there as Dr. Bombay too, but don't quote me on that. But I believe, was on an episode, and I said, "Oh, okay, play those roots. That's fine with me."
I think it was one of those shows that I meant to check out, and I just never got around to. But
it was a good show. I liked it a lot, and I did converse with people on Twitter about that show, so it was pretty tight. I will admit, and I'm sure there are people that pay homage to that to Bewitched still to this day that I probably just haven't seen, but I'm sure it's there. I'm sure
they've got to be. Yeah, they've got to be for sure.
Obviously, the one thing that they love to talk about is the two Darrins.
Oh, I know. I get asked about that all the time. Which one do you like better?
Well, I think everybody gets asked that question. It's not just you, but anybody who's a fan always asks that question. Who do you prefer? And I love the show as a whole, and I did watch both of them, but I grew up with Sargent first. So the first Darrin that I knew was Dick Sargent. I didn't know about another Darrin until much later. So when they started back over with season 3, the season 3 premiere, Nobody's Perfect, and it was revealed that Tabitha was a witch, I saw this Darrin. I was like, who's this? So I had no idea about the two Darrins before until that point, and I just thought, interesting. And I never got into him at first, and I never really appreciated him at first until getting more and more into the show and getting to watch him play. And I fell in love with Dick York. I fell in love with his performance as Darrin on the show. And I can't really, I mean, obviously I would say York is undeniably my favorite, but Sargent